If the goal is to create the greatest villain team,
Uh,
you got to start with the greatest villain in DC Comics,
no.
possibly the
Who?
greatest villain in all of comics. There's only one guy who fits that category, if you're asking me. The greatest villain in
Ooh,
all.
okay. Okay, okay.
We're doing our 7 character draft for the Legion of Doom. We're dealing with DC Comics villains, so to speak. And this could be any villains or anyone you would put as an antagonist towards maybe who you had set up for the Justice League. It's not necessarily, related. But if somebody else picks something, we can't pick that same character, right? And so the order is going to be Jack, then Drew, then me. We'll see who our picks are.
All right. So I'm going to keep my first pick decently simple here. And then I think from there, it's going to get a little bit weird. So my first pick, very simple. I'm going to go Eobard Thawne. I'm going to go Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash. And the reason why is because the way that I'm looking at this Legion of Doom team, I'm trying to think of like a very specific kind of narrative and vibe in general.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, if the goal is to create the greatest villain team,
Uh,
you got to start with the greatest villain in DC Comics,
no.
possibly the
Who?
greatest villain in all of comics. There's only one guy who fits that category, if you're asking me. Sinestro. Sinestro is the greatest villain in
Ooh,
all.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Sinestro is the greatest villain in DC Comics. I will argue that forever. And I think what
This is such a great take, and I'm so glad you said this. Continue.
the thing is, and it's not unique to him, but I think that he embodies this so well, is that he does not think that he's a villain. And I do think that that might cause problems with like the rest of the team because there's going to be stuff that they're doing that he's just like, who the hell am I with?
Yeah, he's the ultimate like a dictator where I could see so many villains truly like sometimes when it comes to a certain villain, it's like, yeah, everyone's following him, but it feels like this very almost generic, ha, yeah, we're gonna do this with you. With Sinestro, it really feels like a direct perspective of no, we are absolutely in the right following this ideology.
And that's a great pick. I didn't know where you're going with that.
You thought I was going Joker.
I
I
thought
was
for
afraid.
sure
I was
Joker.
afraid you were going Joker, and that's a viable pick. Fair. I, spoiler alert. I'm not going to pick Joker for my team. I'll say that. Um, there are certain characters. If you know me, you're just like, yeah. Why would I? I'm not really. I'm not really. I'm not. It's not really a thing. I'm trying to figure out like, yeah, what angle am I taking this? And I think not as the leader of the team, but I really do like the character of Cheetah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
especially with Greg Rucka's newest miniseries with Cheshire and Cheetah rob the Justice League. I just love the character of Cheetah. Also, somebody's going up against Wonder Woman. I just think she's cool. She's not a cosmic level villain either. Like she's not moving planets, but like she's gonna fuck you up, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Good pick there. Yeah. I am gonna go with I'm gonna go with Atrocitus. I'm gonna go with Atrocitus.
Mm.
And the reason why is the way that I look at the way this team would form, to me, I look at somebody like Eobard Thawne as somebody, let's say that this is overall in general a ploy to create a very powerful team where he can do things discreetly. And let's say it's to go up against the Justice League and shut them down or shut Mary down, whatever it is. To me, I think he would look at the way he can stay hidden and the way that he can build an army and a place to strategize. I think he would look at somebody like Atrocitus and Yzmal, the planet of Yzmal, as like a place where they can reside. This Legion team would reside.
Atrocitus 2 is, I think, similar to Sinestro in that he also doesn't think that he's a villain. Like
Yes. Yeah.
he just sees like what he sees the Manhunters and the Guardians as having committed some terrible wrong, and he's just trying to balance it. You actually mentioned my pick while you were talking about, not you, Jack mentioned my pick
Okay.
while he was
Ooh.
talking about Atrocitus. I think uh, I think a good villain needs to be equally intelligent and strong. Um, that's why people like Bane, as a Batman villain, right?
Yeah.
But Bane's only so intelligent. He's only humanly intelligent, and he's only humanly strong, even with Venom. So you got to go somebody who is more than humanly intelligent and more than humanly strong. I got to have Gorilla Grodd.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are okay. I mean, Drew at least is picking a lot of classics.
I am, yeah. I'm probably not going to deviate from that too much. I don't.
Well, okay, so good thing that I'm going to pick my next one because uh, Drew, I'd be okay. I think there's like a 75% chance that this guy is on Drew's list. I got to go with a classic. I also need like this guy is a grade A hater. He is one of like Eobard Thawne is a hater. Black Manta is
That's what I thought you were
Nice.
going with that.
Black
Yeah.
Manta is like D1 hater. He's killing babies, you know what I mean? Like he will go all out to a fault. Like he's so smart, but his anger and vengeance towards Aquaman is like next level. So I do have to pick Black Manta.
Ooh, okay. All right. So the way I'm thinking about it is like I'm trying to put together aspects of this where I'm like, okay, what is an interesting character to throw into the mix where not because I don't have like a necessarily big overarching story in mind, but like the characters that are added into this, what could that sprout in terms of stories?
Yeah.
And the character that comes to mind for me when I think about like who are random guys that like he'd throw together to be like this guy could be super important to us and the way that the dynamic could go together. I'm gonna go ahead here and pick Dr. Destiny. I'm gonna pick Dr. Destiny. Yeah, I'm gonna go Dr. Destiny,
Okay.
basically nightmare powers guy. And the reason why is because sometimes when Dr. Destiny is shown, he's shown as a character who's pretty insane and doesn't have a lot of control over his powers. And
Yeah.
I like the idea of him being on this team as a character that at first they almost have to like contain, almost like a character that they're like, all right, leave him in a cell. We're gonna talk to him for a bit, but he's pretty unstable right now. We got to be careful, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think a character like him could be so important to whatever exactly kind of schemes and stuff that Eobard wants to do. But I also think his dynamic in terms of the way that he sees Eobard and Atrocitus go back and forth on plans, I think him into the mix could be interesting because he could be the kind of X factor that kind of screws things up, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And especially with a power where it's all this dream related stuff, there's so much cool stuff you could do with stories with that, especially if there's a very specific instance that Atrocitus or Eobard's thinking of doing. Like there could be moments where maybe he's affecting Atrocitus's dreams in a certain way or affecting his brain or Eobard's, and you get some really interesting character moments from that. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you could play around with him.
Yeah.
I'm going with I feel like I need a magic user, Cersei.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I think the Cersei is just necessary. If there's any theme to these, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of making this up as I go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there is, if
Same.
there is any theme to this, it's definitely like people who know their hero
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
well, right? And that
You're going the Justice League Doom sort of thing, like in the animated movie Justice League Doom, where literally the members of the Legion of Doom are exactly the counterparts, essentially.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they seem like they're very like, oh yeah, I'm busting out the classics, you know, but
Yeah,
like those are the characters who know their respective heroes just so well because they have this long history because they've been around for so long.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm gonna go simply Toyman, Winslow Shot,
Ooh,
because
okay.
I not only okay, so the way I'm tackling this Legion of Doom is they're not necessarily the heaviest hitters, but you might not know this Legion of Doom exists until they've enacted their plan, right? And I
Hmm.
also
Yeah.
like the idea that like a no nonsense character like Black Manta or Cheetah also has a pure nonsense character like Toyman who would want to brand the Legion of Doom like with toys and robots and like that sort of thing. So like he is the tech expert, but he's all about marketing in a way. Yeah, but like a character like Toyman would be like, why don't we have a logo for the Legion of Doom? He's the one who creates that helmet dome like structure. I wouldn't be surprised, you know?
The thing that
He's
comes
like,
out of the swamp.
yeah, the thing that comes out of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
swamp, right? And it's like, yeah, why wouldn't he? And like Toyman would also be the kind of character that would create like mech suits for each person. And
Yeah, yeah.
like someone like Black Manta would be like, well, I don't want a mech suit. Like, why would Cheetah want a mech suit? But like he's like, no, you got a Cheetah mech suit that then becomes a Megazord. I know that's more the second Toyman or like the hero, Hiro Toyman, but like this Toyman would be doing that too.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's an interesting angle for that. So where I'm going to go with this next one is I'm going to go with I think about like a character that is a bit more not necessarily boots on ground, but more of like a character that Eobard would go to for like government related things to handle stuff. And I'm going to go with Major Force. And the reason why I'm going to go with Major Force is because I think he's the perfect like government stooge, like bootlicker kind of guy that's still really powerful. But I also think the dynamic of a guy like that would probably, kind of do whatever Eobard says. He's like, whatever you say, sir. Like, I think choices that Eobard would make that Major Force would push to its farthest end would really piss off Atrocitus, especially if you're looking at like Atrocitus from a more like kind of revolutionary angle and Major Force from a very much kind of propaganda angle. Like I think there'd be
And
something there
serial
where they would.
killer.
Yes, yeah. I think there's angles there where Atrocitus would hate him.
Okay, so I'm gonna bust out my wild card.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I
Um,
mean, technically, we don't have wild cards in this one. It's just
oh
any
well,
villain.
shoot! I'm gonna bust out a wild card
Okay.
anyway.
All right.
Okay, so this is a character who isn't necessarily considered to be a villain, but I think with the right with the right convincing, could do some pretty heinous villainous stuff. And the way that you do it is you go to this character and you say, "Hey, listen, uh, everybody loves a good villain. People want to see the villains. People want to see the villains succeed." Right? Because people love villains because that's what drives the hero. So you let your villains succeed, and then it gives your heroes more gumption, and then you're selling more books. My fourth pick is Grant Morrison
No,
from Animal
Okay.
Man.
the cosmic level
Interesting.
writer, right?
Yeah, the writer. Yep. Yeah, it's Grant Morrison
Okay.
from Animal Man, and most recently, uh, uh,
Was it,
Batman and Deadpool.
Okay. Interesting. That's definitely the most out there angle we've had so far.
is it because I was like, you're bringing out the classics and you took that
No,
firstly?
I was just thinking about where can I go with this to make it more interesting.
You do what you want to do. I don't like it, but okay. That's okay. Um, okay. I'm picking Felix Faust
Ooh.
because I want a
Okay.
sniveling kind of villain.
I don't think I know who Felix Faust is.
He's magic based, depending on the story you're telling, but like he's magic based, he's really old. Like sometimes they put him up against Etrigan, but basically I think
Oh,
in the
okay. Yeah, I know what you're
classic
talking about.
I
Yeah,
think in
yeah.
the classic Felix Faust mythology, like in real life, because it was like an actual mythological kind of story. I think he sold his soul to the devil for magic powers.
He has a big like Justice League animated series episode. It was actually the first ever episode I've ever seen of that show. So I wanted to take an interesting spin on a magic user where it's not necessarily a magic user, but a character that can handle things within the magic/magic artifact realm. I'm gonna go with we don't know much about this character right now. I'm gonna go with Absolute Hawkman.
Mm.
That's what I'm going to go with for this. I think there's an interesting angle here where I think a lot of the people that Reverse Flash is bringing into this, he understands that not all of them have the same goal. And so there's a bit of a trade off of things where it's like, Atrocitus isn't trying to like rule the world. Like he doesn't really care about that. I don't even think Eobard wants that. But there's an aspect of this which is like trade offs of being like, hey, we all kind of want this kind of thing here. we understand that there's going to be a bit of differences in the way that we approach this. And I think somebody like Absolute Hawkman is a character that already kind of is hitting that line of like, like kind of an asshole, kind of this like government stooge in a way
Yeah.
kind of character, but also is this, it seems to be still archaeologists who can be that one that knows about these magic artifacts, who can give the right angle of like, hey, we should probably approach this, or hey, maybe don't try to go get this. Hey, let's maybe not do this.
Before we move to Drew, question, is he coming from the Absolute DC universe?
Yes. So there would be acknowledgement that he's from the Absolute DC universe. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll get to my next one very quickly. It's another
Yeah.
classic. I'm going Ra's al Ghul.
Oof.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
He knows Batman pretty dang well. He wants to destroy everything so that he can rebuild. I mean, come on. What else is there? What else do you want from a villain?
What else would you want? Maybe someone from the fourth world? I'm
Ooh.
picking Calabac.
I thought about Calabac. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I want just a heavy bruiser, but I also want to, like, his personality. I want him to hit on Cheetah and get fucked up.
I like that. I'm going to pick a really strange pick here. You just
Yeah.
got to walk with me here. So I like the idea that Reverse Flash would look at this kind of team and go, if I'm doing things in the background, I want somebody who can kind of be like a front man, somebody who can kind of play the role of like pretend leader of the Legion of Doom and like really be this like cartoonish, stylistic villain that keeps the Justice League on their toes in a way where they think that this guy is the one in charge and this is the guy that's really got these big ploys, and allow him to be the front man, where almost this front man would maybe sometimes even get annoyed by him being kind of like thrown around. This is a very weird pick I'm going to go for here, but I'm going to go with Signal Man. I'm going to go with Signal Man, who's like a more niche Batman villain. This whole thing is just, he's like a failed gangster who just uses signs and symbols and motifs and all this kind of stuff like that. He's got this kind of silly red and yellow outfit. Like, I think he would be like the perfect guy that Eobard like kind of forces into this to be like, you're going to pretend to be this big stylistic guy who's behind all these mischievous things. Like, I think he would be great as like this hilarious front man on Earth for the things that he's trying to do.
He's so hokey looking.
Yeah, he's very hokey looking.
Okay.
He's definitely a goofball.
Drew, who's next?
My next one is I was gonna save this for last, but then you said you need somebody from the fourth world, and I agree. Granny Goodness.
You're putting
Ooh.
Granny. Okay. All right.
Ooh, okay.
Voiced by Ed Asner.
Yes, absolutely. Granny Goodness is just absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
I think
Completely
that she's
agree.
in good company with all these people.
Speaking of terrifying, then I'm going to pick Parasite.
Good villain.
I need a utility player that can literally, you can put him up against anyone and he is beaten down a lot. Like, he's just going to take your powers and your life force. You know, he's like Rogue, except not as sexy. You know,
I mean, that's subjective.
yeah, you know. Is it the more human-looking Parasite or the one with the leech mouth? I don't know,
Ooh.
but I don't know what Drew's taste is.
Okay, and so I've got one last pick here.
Yeah.
I think for my last pick here, I'm gonna go with Ocean Master. I'm gonna go with Ocean Master because I think he fits as somebody on a more like political, diplomatic climate of it all that could really handle kind of like how Atrocitus is but on a bigger level, just bigger armies. And he's somebody that I could see negotiating with Eobard when it comes to certain things like, hey, we've got this plan. There is stuff in store for you in Atlantis if we can pull this thing off.
Yeah, that's a good one. My last one, another classic. It's Brainiac.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, Brainiac is a top tier Superman villain. I think has similar goals to some of the other characters that I've included. Now, I recognize that most of my characters are going to probably be fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because there's a lot of ego in that tiny little thing coming out of the swamp that looks like a helmet. But I also know that the writer could just make it so that they don't do that.
My final one, again, because I'm all about the vibes of this team. Also, for some reason, I love shipping, man. I
Yeah.
think it adds because there's also the idea that unrequited love is also really fun. Um, but I wanted someone who was equal parts powerful and sexy to throw into this mix.
I can't be on your list.
If Grant Morrison could be on your list, I can pick another DC writer on my list.
Ooh.
But no, no. This is somebody that, yeah, you don't throw fire into a powder keg. I'm picking Blackfire.
I thought about that for a bit. Funny enough, there was a point where I thought about that being my wild card for my Justice League. I was
I
thinking
was
about that
thinking
at a
about that
point.
too. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
mean that like
interesting.
are you talking about like the evil firestorm?
Yeah. Evil
Evil,
Starfire.
evil
Starfire.
Starfire.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. For some reason, when you said that, I thought Deacon Blackfire, the Batman villain,
Oh.
and I was just
Oh,
like, one of these things is not like the others.
evil
uh,
Firestorm. You're thinking Deathstorm.
Deathstorm. That's
That
what I
guy.
was thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deathstorm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, this is Blackfire, which is Starfire's sister. Also, like, I want the idea. There's so many characters at play here. I would love the
Yeah.
fact, like, if Blackfire was attracted to Black Manta, but then is constantly manipulating Calabac because Calabac is also, the type of person that would feel like everybody should be his, right? And so
Yeah.
there's a couple of things at play with my team. Um, I like all three of our teams. Also, the idea that all three of our teams could exist at the same time, doing their own
Yeah.
things in the background, right? It's like,
Yeah, I think it's especially with mine. Like, I like the idea that a lot of these guys are pretty discreet, and everyone kind of thinks Signal Man is like the leader of like a new Legion of Doom team. So like
yeah,
they think of it as all these big leaders and Signal Man.
Signal Man is the wildest on your squad. Grant Morrison's the
Yeah,
wildest on Drew's.
yeah, definitely.
All right. I mean, I like all three of our teams, and
Same.
if I was out there, I wouldn't be able to pick which one was my favorite. Other than, I mean, mine because I picked mine, but you guys did a good job in yours. So, anyone out there, let us know which of these three you would want as your Legion of Doom. Let us know in the comments, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.